Hilton is aiming to quadruple its presence in Saudi Arabia as the kingdom seeks to grow its tourism sector and diversify its economy away from oil. The hotel group currently operates 20 hotels in the kingdom, while 75 more are under development, accounting for a quarter of Saudi Arabia's branded hotel room pipeline. And today, breaking first here on CNBC, Hilton set to enter the premium economy segment for the first time in the region. Well, I'm very pleased to say that Guy Hutchinson is here. He's the president of Hilton in the Middle East, with me around the desk in Abu Dhabi. Guy, a warm welcome to the program. Thanks for being here.
Amazing. Thank you so much for having me.
Now, you have some exciting breaking news for me. Walk me through it.
Yes, certainly. The kingdom has always been very strong for our luxury and full-service portfolios, but we've seen a real expansion, diversification through mid-market segments, and that's allowing us to launch our latest premium economy brand, Spark by Hilton, in Mecca. So Mecca as a deal with one of our strategic partners, Al Muspa Group.
Excellent. Okay, so what is Spark?
Spark is an amazing brand. It sits in that premium economy space. It's really cost effective in terms of conversion, but it always hits those reliable basics with a friendly service and plugs into the superpower of the Hilton engines.
So with regards to this new brand, what type of traveller are you seeking to target here, and how does it fill a gap in the Saudi market? As we just explained, there's significant saturation now, there's a decent pipeline of development. What problem does this brand solve?
Well, I wouldn't argue necessarily to saturation, because we're just at the beginning of the journey. We're far from the midpoint even of that journey in Saudi Arabia. I mean, we've got a long way to go. But this is really about that diversification. As I said, the market is always led in that sort of luxury full-service space. But now we're seeing mid-income families increasing, or forecast increase by at least 40% to 2030. You're seeing that Vision 2030 that's going to bring up to 150 million travelers into the kingdom to experience tourism. And this brand is really going to hit it very well. It's really going to help accelerate that mid-market expansion, because it is quite conversion friendly. So it's easier to take an existing building, plug it into the network, create a great environment around a stay, but also be easy on the wallet.
Okay, so, and this is going to be a whole new concept as well. So in terms of the user experience, the client and customer experience, how is this going to differentiate from the typical Hilton experience that so many of our viewers already know and understand?
Yeah, well, this is that variation between full service and focus service. So when you're booking into a five-star hotel or luxury hotel, of course, there's all that expectations around, rightly so, what you're going to experience in that space through facilities. Spark, in particular, in that focus service space, obviously a lot of those service initiatives are scaled down basically for focus service to allow it to hit that sort of competitive pricing space. So everybody can enjoy the concepts, the reliability of a Hilton stay, can book through the Hilton engines, can be guaranteed those premium experiences you get through Hilton service, but a much more value-driven price point.
Okay.
So it just makes it a lot more accessible.
So is it too soon to say exactly how much a typical standard room might cost in a Spark hotel?
Far too early to say,
okay.
and obviously market-driven.
Right. Okay, driven by the market. And what's also interesting is, we're seeing 20 hotels that Hilton already has in the kingdom, more than 75 in the pipeline. There's so many places where Hilton could be growing and expanding its brand, but you've really doubled down on Saudi Arabia. You've outlined some of the reasons as to why, but what's giving you the confidence to invest in KSA today, and what does the rest of that development pipeline look like?
Yes, KSA is, the kingdom is obviously one of the most dynamic spaces we have globally in terms of growth. And today, 1 in 4 hotel rooms under construction in the kingdom is underneath one of our brands. So there's clearly significant opportunity in that market. But I think there's a very unique strategy, in fact, not just in the kingdom, but across the Middle East, because it repeats across multiple jurisdictions, where tourism is part of a national strategy that underpins forecasted economic growth. And the kingdom is one great example of that. We're seeking to diversify the economy through Vision 2030. There is a national strategy focused around growing hospitality, growing tourism infrastructure that includes hotels, that includes airport, that includes airlines. And when you have that unified national strategy where you've got private and public sector collaboration, that's what really supercharges growth. And those conditions are probably the strongest in the world in the kingdom today.
Indeed, and there is a massive state-led investment boom into tourism. We were speaking just recently with the head of the Saudi Tourism Authority, and he is still very confident on the outlook, despite the fact that we have a number of global headwinds all impacting the tourism and travel market right now. Indeed. So the other thing is, you mentioned this is the first of these hotels is going to be in Mecca, right? Not open to tourists, though, so you're targeting predominantly religious travellers?
Into Mecca, it's exclusively religious travellers, but that's just the first application of this. If you look at across our other focus service brands, like Hilton Garden Inn, you're seeing those basically deploy right across the kingdom. It just so happens that we're excited to announce this first one. Mecca is actually an important city, so it's amazing to have that opportunity to launch Spark in Mecca, but definitely you will see that grow right across the kingdom and right across the Middle East.
Particularly as the tourism industry continues to develop. Walk me through how the business is performing right now as well, and let's talk about some numbers here. What are the booking patterns that you're seeing so far in 2025? Are guests booking earlier? Are they staying longer? Are they spending differently? We spoke about some of the global headwinds. What are you seeing right now in terms of numbers?
Honestly, the Middle East still remains a high growth region. I think if you look at us collectively across that Middle East space, we're running around 8.5% to 9% growth year on year. We're seeing in the kingdom in particular a 27% increase year to date on inbound visitation. So our numbers across the Middle East remain extremely strong, and forecasts through the year remain that way.
Do you have any visibility on what the second half could potentially look like?
It looks extremely strong, honestly. I mean, you never know. I think we tend to look at it in 3, 6, and 9 month increments. I think right now, positive. Year to date, very strong, as I said, 8.5%, 9% growth, which is probably one of the highest growth rates in our industry across the world. So trading very well.